How many of you have a problem with your students' engagement in school? If you've got less than 90% of your students in your classroom who aren't engaged, you're pretty much like most teachers in America. If you give your students 10 choices of things to do, how many of them choose to read independently as their first choice? These are questions that you can ask yourself to determine, the severity of your engagement problem in your classroom, but I'd venture a guess that most teachers do have a problem with their engagement. Reading engagement is crucial for students' behavior and for their sense of emotional safety in a classroom, and also for their academic achievement. So what are teachers to do in a system that is primarily focused on extrinsic types of motivations for students? We focus so much on grades, on points, on stickers. We focus on social comparisons of who's reading the best, or whose grade is the best, or who can answer the question first. And these are things that really do undermine our students' motivations to read. So I'll tell you the number one thing that helps engage your kids in reading. And this is something you can do immediately. Tomorrow you can do it in your classroom, and think about this and watch what happens with your students in a classroom. The number one thing to do is to give your students more control. Now, I know as teachers that we're trained to be in charge of our classroom and to have orderly classrooms where it's quiet and we control the behavior of our students, but it really doesn't work in terms of getting kids to be engaged and keeping them engaged unless they have some sense of control over their own learning. And so the easiest way to do this is through choice. Giving students a limited choice between one or two or maybe three things is a really powerful way to get instant engagement in activities and assignments that we require of our students. For example, say you're working on a unit that perhaps in one of your content areas where you're studying different biomes, and you feel like you're pressured to teach all the animals that live in that biome. When you allow your students choice of what animal interests them, perhaps it would form small groups of kids that are interested in the same types of mammals or birds or amphibians that live in the desert. Then those kids can study the animals that are interesting to them and present that knowledge to the class. Also, limited choices could be if you're having kids choose what pages they want to read or what questions they want to answer, instead of always dictating to them what they have to do and what they have to read. When you give your students control by allowing them just a few choices, it frees you up. You notice that you really do have kids engaged. They're engaged for longer periods of time because they have a real purpose for doing their assignments and for reading, and they're happier. They just have a purpose. They feel like they're in charge of their learning. So I want you to try those kinds of things, giving them small choices. It makes things more interesting for the kids. And we know that students' motivation starts to decline in about 4th grade, and they continue to decline every year after that. So if you're teaching students in grades 3 through 9 all the way to high school, and you've got engagement problems, start with student choice. Give them limited choices, and you'll watch your engagement increase. If you'd like more information on things you can do to engage your kids, please go to my website at www.engagingreaders.com. Or you're welcome to join us in Orlando. I'm going to be doing a teaching seminar to empower teachers to engage their students in learning. It's called the CORI Engaging Readers Seminar, and it will be held in Orlando, Florida on May 5th, 6th, and 7th, just prior to the International Reading Association annual convention. For more information on that, you're welcome to go to my website at www.cori for teachers, CORI for TEACHERS.com. Have a great day.